It's Thursday, January 17th. We've got a lot of recap and a lot of upcoming events this week. This is the Exeter Weekly Report. I'm Hillary Donnell. All right. We had State Representative Chris Pappas over in the Exeter Town Hall this Sunday. Here's some footage of the event.
Well, good morning, everyone, and thanks again for coming out today. It is really critical that we have conversations like this, not just at one point in time, but continuously, and they need to be happening in Washington, D.C. as well. I think we are in the situation we are in today because we have stopped listening to one another and relating to each other and hearing each other out. And so if we're going to renew our ability as a country to do that, it starts in town halls like this in the state of New Hampshire. It starts in a historic place like this in the town of Exeter. We know we all have to take it upon ourselves to respect the views of others, even where we may differ. And so I know we will all do that today in true New Hampshire fashion. I never thought I'd be coming into office with the government shutdown. And I am so disturbed that now we are facing the longest shutdown in the history of this country. 23 days. This has an impact on all of us. So many aspects of our lives are touched by this, and the longer it goes on, the worse it's going to get. We have got to find a way to end it. But I believe that there should be no political hostage taking in Washington, D.C. That we should not wrap political issues into whether or not we will fund basic functions of government. There should be no question about that. And so going forward, I will work with anyone to pass funding bills that will reopen the doors of government, make sure that we, adhere to the duty that we were sent there to perform, that we will respect the workers of this country, and we will do it in a way where we can have any conversation beyond that about how we keep America safe, about how we can reform a broken immigration system. Let's have all those conversations and let the chips fall where they may and come to some common understandings about how we can make things better. But let's not hold our government hostage over it.
After his introduction, Chris Pappas took questions from those gathered at the town hall. You can find video of the event on the Exeter TV YouTube and Facebook pages. Connors Climb held an event earlier this week in the town hall about the stigma surrounding mental illness.
Half of all mental illness in the United States arises by age 14. We knew nothing about mental illness because no one ever talked about it, no one. I had two sons, 11 and 13. It took our president and my 13-year-old son. He didn't know he had a mental health problem. Makes sense when you think about it. How would you know? It's just how you are, how you feel, how you see and respond to other people. He thought it was just him, but it wasn't just him. My son would say to us, "Dad, I am not an alcoholic. If I didn't have these feelings, I wouldn't be drinking." No one, no doctor, no neighbor, no friend, no one said to us, "Do you think your son could have a mental health problem?" I want to make the 5 most common signs of mental illness as well known and as widely known as the signs of a heart attack or a stroke. Why do we stigmatize people with a mental health problem? That's on us. We need to change it.
TV videographers headed down to the SPCA in Stratham to talk about an upcoming event that you can go to tonight.
In the United States
Here's more about it.
Hi, my name is Megan Bickford. I work for the New Hampshire SPCA. I am our Special Events and Sponsorship Manager. I'm going to let you know a little bit about our legislative reception that's coming up. So it'll be January 17th, which is this Thursday, here at the New Hampshire SPCA in Stratham in our training room. The event begins at 5:30. If you can RSVP in advance, you can send it to sryan@nhspca.org. But if you can't RSVP in advance, certainly still feel like you can come drop in and check it out. It's an opportunity for you to meet with your local legislators and learn a little bit more about what we do here at the shelter and how it pertains to the community, and maybe learning things that you didn't know we did. So there's all different things that we do that you'll get the chance to maybe hear about. Just it's a really good opportunity to just learn a little bit about our comprehensive programs and how we can work with our policymakers in Concord to help the animals that we all love and care about. To learn more about the shelter and any of our upcoming events, you can go to nhspca.org. You can also find us on Facebook and any of your other social medias, Instagram, Twitter. So you can follow us, you can search for NHSPCA, and it's a great way to keep up to date with everything that we've got going on and all the wonderful adoptable animals we have.
You know. Next up, here's how Exeter citizens are getting involved in solving crimes.
Hi, I'm Scott Forte. I'm on the board for Seacoast Crime Stoppers. Seacoast Crime Stoppers is an organization that helps support community and police relation. We do things like get tips from the general public, and we help solve crimes. So we're in over 15 of the local communities, Exeter and Newmarket being 2 of those communities. Seacoast Crime Stoppers has been around since 1983 actually, and we've been solving crimes all over the Seacoast, from little things like petty theft to bank robbery. Funding for tips is interesting because every single time that we have a crime that's reported, if that crime is solved, we pay out a tip to whoever that party was. And we do a lot of that every single month. So funding is one of the big things for us, and we get all of our funding from the community. So from corporate sponsors, individual sponsors, and that can all be found right on our website, seacoastcrimestoppers.com. So people can reach us on our awesome new website, seacoastcrimestoppers.com. We're also available on Facebook, but if you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you can download an app called P3, and that is a way that you could submit tips wherever you are. And those tips go right to local PD, and they can remain anonymous, or if you not want to remain anonymous, you can put your name on there as well. Some of the cases that Seacoast Crime Stoppers has paid out on recently range from everything from drug busts to bank robberies to cold cases. So there's been cases that have been sitting for a number of years, and someone will report a tip, and that will actually lead to the solving of a crime. And that's happened a couple times throughout the years of Seacoast Crime Stoppers. Seacoast Crime Stoppers is really based on the see something, say something. You guys are all part of your community, and one of the best things that we can do as community members is if we see something, say something. And organizations like Crime Stoppers have money to pay out for tips to make our communities a better and safer place. So there's nothing wrong with having a free dinner for reporting a crime.
Our next topic of discussion is happening right here in the Exeter Town Hall Gallery. NHSPA is holding a photographic arts exhibit right here. Find out more about it now.
I'm Michael Sterling. I am the president of the New Hampshire Society of Photographic Artists, or NHSPA, and this is our 20th anniversary show at the Exeter Town Hall.
I'm Christy Utter. I'm a longtime member of the New Hampshire Society of Photographic Artists, and I'm also an Exeter resident. And I have been helping put on this show for the last 20 years. It's always been a real pleasure to be able to use this space every year. There are lots of different types of photography in the show. We have a lot of traditional photographers who still do darkroom work. We have also a lot of new members this year. I understand that we actually have quite a few new members because of a project that we're working on right now that I'm sure Michael can talk more about.
The project is called New Hampshire Now, and it is an 18-month project that started in August of 2018, will end at December of this year, where we have photographers all over the state of New Hampshire divided into 7 geographic regions, photographing, and we're going to call it a point in time. It's really the years 2018, 2019. documenting the state, whether it's people, it's landscapes, it's architecture, along the lines of what was done during the Depression era with the Farm Security Administration photos. We hope to have a major exhibition at the end of the show, as well as 7 regional exhibitions, and keep the photographs in some historical archives as a document of this time in the state. It's been so exciting for photographers that we've doubled our membership in the past year just because photographers want to be a part of this project.
These are called cyanotypes. Basically what it is, it's a contact print, so the negative is the same size as the print. And I create the negatives digitally. Back in the 1800s, they were actually created one at a time as glass plates, but I'm able to do that digitally now, which is really wonderful. So I'm able to combine the old and the new ways of doing things by using the old ways of printing, but using a digital negative to create it.
For a long time, I was doing a lot of either landscapes and then some architecture. Then I got involved in old buildings like textile mills, abandoned prisons, and so forth, and historical places such as Mystic Seaport in Connecticut and Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts. Over the past few years, I've really gotten interested and done a lot more with my portraiture. So these 2 photos, this one and this one, were from visits to some of those locations. This woman is a seamstress at Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts, and we went there right after Christmas, so the place was very empty. She was sitting by the window, beautiful light on her, and I took this photograph. Again, it's black and white because I really like portraits to reflect the personality and the environment, and sometimes the black and white eliminates the distractions of color. This gentleman is a musician at Mystic Seaport in Connecticut, and again, he was just there playing with his old accordion and caught my eye. Most of these people are reenactors and they don't mind being photographed, so it was very much a natural pose.
I'm Hillary Donnell, and I hope you learned something new about ways to be involved in Exeter. Here's your weekend forecast. This weekend, temperatures will be in the freezing range, so please make sure to stay safe. Friday will be cloudy, with a high of 39 degrees and a low of 18 degrees. On Saturday, expect a high of 23 degrees and a low of 19 degrees. There will be a chance of snow on Sunday, with a high of 22 degrees and a low of 3 degrees. Expect Monday to be cloudy, with a high of 9 degrees and a low of 3 degrees.